Daniel hadn't touched the old radio in years. It sat in a box in his garage, dusty, dented, with a cracked antenna taped back together. It had belonged to his grandfather, who swore it could pull voices out of nowhere. Daniel always assumed that meant bad reception. One night during a thunderstorm, the power went out. No lights, no Wi-Fi, no cell service. Bored and irritated, Daniel dug through the garage for something to pass the time. That's when he found it. The old portable radio. He carried it inside, popped in a few spare batteries, and twisted the dial. Static filled the dark living room. He flipped on a flashlight and set it on the coffee table. The storm outside rattled the windows. Daniel slowly turned the tuning knob. Music briefly crackled through, then faded. Talk radio, then static again. He kept turning. Then, a voice. Daniel froze. It wasn't a radio host voice. It wasn't polished. It sounded close. "Can you hear me?" He leaned toward the speaker. "Yeah?" he said instinctively, then laughed at himself. "You're talking to a radio, idiot." Static swallowed the signal. He adjusted the dial slightly. The voice returned. "You're not supposed to answer." Daniel's stomach tightened. "What?" he muttered. The radio hissed. "You weren't supposed to answer." He stared at it. "Who is this?" Silence. "Then you're not on the right side." The storm outside intensified, thunder shaking the walls. Daniel checked his phone. Still no signal. He lifted the radio and held it closer. "What station is this?" he whispered. The voice changed. Now it sounded distorted, layered, more than one person speaking at once. "You turned too far." The flashlight flickered. Daniel's pulse quickened. He turned the dial backward. The voice grew louder. "No." He turned it forward again. The voice sharpened. "Yes." His breathing became shallow. "What do you want?" he asked. Static. Then, to come back. The room suddenly felt smaller. The storm outside stopped. Not faded, stopped. Total silence. Daniel realized he couldn't hear rain anymore. Couldn't hear wind. Couldn't hear anything at all. Even his own breathing sounded distant. He slowly looked toward the window. The lightning had frozen mid-flash in the sky. A bright white branch across the clouds, not moving. The trees outside weren't swaying. They were completely still. Daniel's chest tightened. "What did you do?" he whispered to the radio. "You opened it." The flashlight went out. Darkness swallowed the room. The only sound left was the radio. A low hum. Then footsteps. From the hallway behind him, Daniel didn't move. Another step. Slow, deliberate. The radio crackled again. "Don't look." He squeezed his eyes shut. The footsteps stopped directly behind him. He felt warmth on the back of his neck. Breathing, not his. The radio whispered, "You're between stations now." Daniel tried to scream. Nothing came out. The voice continued, "Stay still." A hand brushed his shoulder. Cold, wrong. He couldn't feel his legs. The radio volume began increasing on its own. Static screamed through the speaker. The lightning outside flickered again. And everything snapped back. The storm resumed violently. Rain pounding the roof. Wind howling. The flashlight flicked back on. Daniel gasped and spun around. The hallway was empty. The house was normal. He looked at the radio. It was silent. No batteries inside. They had rolled onto the floor. He stared at it for a long time, then slowly reached out and smashed it against the coffee table. Plastic shattered. Silence. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Daniel checked the weather reports. The storm had never reached his neighborhood. It had broken apart miles away. He laughed nervously. Just Stress, he muttered. Then his phone buzzed. A voicemail. Time-stamped 11:48 p.m. During the blackout. He didn't remember making a call. He pressed play, static, then his own voice, calm, monotone. I found the right side. The message ended with a soft click, followed by a whisper. We're almost through.